tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though? Welcome back to Whatever Waits live on Sports.com. Me's Joe Rex, young Chris, Nicholas Koloff, a.k.a. Crash Out Koloff, a.k.a. Microwave Mario, a.k.a. all the above. What is wrong with you?
What? They can't hear us anyways.
Oh, they can't?
Nope.
No, they can't.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Master the spin zone.
You trying to see a crash out?
What'd you say?
Trying to see a crash out? Playing with me like
true.
that?
We got around the diamond later.
Well,
Hey.
since you guys can hear us, smash that like button.
Smash.
Smee.
How about that? He did it again. Patrick Mahomes sacrificed another lamb.
Baby.
Maybe a baby.
Half of California.
Cannot confirm, cannot deny. He made it to another Super Bowl 3 times in a row, going for the what are they calling it this time?
Three-peat.
Is it three-peat?
Yes,
There's
it's
no cool
just
nickname?
a three-peat. No.
Chief Pete?
You heard
The Chief
Jim
Pete?
Nance and Tony Romo at the end of the game. Oh, we should call it a Chief Pete or a 3-chief. I couldn't listen to that shit, dude. That was making me sick.
I mean, we talked about it Friday. Like, I'll root for greatness if Josh Allen didn't get it. And Josh Allen didn't get it.
I hope both teams lose.
I can't listen.
First tie.
Yeah, I
You know
hope it's
what?
a tie. Like, they just go into overtime and neither team could score at all ever. And then after like 7-8 hours, they just call it.
Who do you think's gonna win?
The Chiefs are going to win, dude.
Think so for real?
Yeah, I do.
Nick? Actually, I know Nick's. I know Nick is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nick's
Chiefs
big
are going to
Chiefs
win. Yeah.
Chris, I just sent you a picture in Slack. I apologize.
The three-peats there. They've been cooking it up all season. The refs have been helping them right along with it. I thought the craziest thing of the game, I don't know if we'll get to it, but the flag that was ready just in case Kincaid caught that ball.
That is true.
Like, it was so
There was a
ready.
flag on the field. Like, wait, there's no
Nothing,
flag.
Yeah.
nothing got explained with that flag.
That
Yeah.
is true.
It
I don't
was
know
just in
If
case
Kincaid
he
caught
caught
it,
that
they
ball.
definitely would have been like,
So crazy.
So my
Holding
only
offense.
explanation is I think someone in the graphic team or whatever put it on. I don't think there was an actual flag. I think some guys actually pressed the button. Because they were saying it too. There's no
Of
flag. Why is
course
there a
he
flag
did,
thing?
though.
sure he did.
I don't know.
Of course.
Well, you know what?
That was
I'll give you this though. You want a
convenient.
conspiracy guy? That was a first down on the rush.
Yeah.
On the tush push.
100%. Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, that was a first down. It
Yeah.
may have been a first down on the catch that she went to fourth down with.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. Not a fan of that.
I mean,
I don't know if it's
the
indisputable
NFL.
or irrefutable, whatever word they use. But to me, that was a first down off first look.
refute of the Buda.
I also think that Kincaid drop's worse than Mark Andrews. Like,
No way, really.
yes, I do.
Mark Andrews
You got to make that play.
was right
No.
there.
No, you got to make that play. Like, you cannot give the ball to fucking
I mean,
Mahomes.
both scenarios got to make the play.
Yeah,
but
Mark
that one was way harder
Mark
than...
Andrews was a easy pass on a goal line situation where he's
I don't
wide
know.
open.
I don't know.
Kincaid's would have been an insane catch.
You got to do insane shit to beat Mahomes.
Yeah.
And he had his hands on that ball.
That is true.
That was a
I
straight
mean,
up
definitely
drop.
could have made the catch. That's catches they've made. By the way, Josh Allen even getting that throw off is insane. Like, that alone is... How many times this year has he done that where, like, shit's just going crazy, going left, and he's just, like, heaves it up to somebody open. Like, that's the part that just, like, blows my mind. Like, how are you doing that? I don't know, man. Sucks for Josh Allen. Patches him. And no, I saw BDE today. I was listening during BDE while I was working. We are not, absolutely not, putting that on the same level as Jared Goff throwing 4 interceptions
5-14.
4 turnovers.
at home. I'm sorry, 4 turnovers. I apologize. Sorry. Yeah, we're not comparing that to Jared Goff having 4 turnovers at home with a stacked roster, by the way, versus this guy going on the road against the fucking baby goat.
The boogeyman. The cookie band.
The cookie band. Chris, what you want to say?
I was just about to say to the people that are like criticizing Josh Allen. Sorry, you can see how we mix those up all the time.
Yeah,
But,
there's the same guy.
yeah, but no, the criticism that Josh Allen is facing today, we all acknowledged all throughout the season. Holy shit, this guy's doing it with absolutely nothing. Holy shit, this guy's now a number 2 seed facing the face of the Chiefs in the championship with a shot to go to the Super Bowl. So like, I can't give Josh Allen a lot of criticism today. And I know that the narrative is, oh, he just can't get it done against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I get that. But, like, this isn't a year to me to, like, add evidence to that. This was a year where he wasn't supposed to be here. People weren't expecting this team to even win their division, let alone be in this position. So I feel like a little bit of that is revisionist history of, yeah, he hasn't won against Mahomes. But this was, of all the years, this was the year he wasn't supposed to. And it was still, and he was still a play or two away.
That's a great point. Yeah, even when it comes down to all that stuff too, like that, like no one's even. You can't have these conversations without it getting uncomfortable for other fans because they're gooners. Let's be real about it. But
Goofy gooners.
They're not on the same level. Like when Josh Allen lose that game, there's criticism. When Goff loses it, it's like you're not having those type of conversations about Goff. It's just not. They're not in the same realm.
Yeah.
I love him. Great guy. Not in the same realm.
No, it's, and Neil says like they both haven't won a Super Bowl, so they're the same. I mean, if that's what you want, if that's what you want to boil it down to, if that's the argument you want to have, yes, neither of them have won a Super Bowl. Yes, Jared Goff has gotten to a Super Bowl, but losing as a 9.5-point favorite at home to a rookie quarterback and turning the ball over 4 times is not the same as losing to Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. It's not.
And like Nick, there's an opportunity for Dalton to catch the ball, and he didn't.
No.
It's not the same at all whatsoever. They're not on the same planet. It's crazy to even try to call.
Yeah.
Crazy, especially, and I love Yonky Neal. You timed everything wrong because you did win a half hour of glazing Patrick Mahomes beforehand.
Yeah.
Calling him better than Michael Jordan, saying that he can't be beat, and then into criticizing Josh Allen for not beating him.
For losing to him.
And another thing, too, he said keep the same energy. There was no ill will, negative energy towards Goff. That's the other thing that pissed me off. The Goff Gooner side takes it to whole, oh, you just want to get rid of him. No,
he had a bad game.
He had a bad game. Oh, you want to trade him, and you got no one ready to replace him. We know it. Nope, just saying he had a bad game.
He turned it over 4 times.
Yeah, that's all that's happening.
Yeah.
There's no energy kept, and if there was energy kept, my energy as a fan for 4 fucking turnovers versus Dalton Kincaid dropping a ball, vastly different. So, yes, the energy is not going to be the same at all.
Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat.
Shout out.
With the super chat. Shout out to you, Burn, in there. He says, listen, Allen has to do it. His and Lamar's legacy is on the line because history will toss them out if they don't. Sorry, but that's how it goes. So the same thing for Jared Goff then.
Burn's right.
And yeah, you got to beat Lamar. You got to win, or you got to beat Mahomes. You got to win a Super Bowl. And obviously, in the NFC, it's a lot easier to get to the Super Bowl because you don't have to go through Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
So come on home, Josh Allen. Come on home, baby.
But yeah, it sucks. But no, the losses are different. They're on a different level.
I think it's Ryan Clark that tweeted it. And he said there's gonna be a whole gang of Hall of Fame quarterbacks without Super Bowl rings
because of Patrick
Mahomes.
Yeah, like
it's insane.
Yeah,
Josh Allen's, I believe, 6 or 5 times. Every loss has been to Patrick Mahomes outside of 2, and one was 2020, like his sophomore year to then like the good version of Deshaun Watson. And the other one was Joe Burrow. The rest have literally been Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship.
He's the boogeyman in the AFC
every single time.
It's
Lamar Jackson, the same conversation too. Although Lamar performance-wise,
no, see Lamar.
You can talk about the performance of Lamar.
Lamar notoriously underperforms in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that is the thing. Josh Allen performs at an extremely high level in the playoffs every time. Like his playoff stats are insane.
Yes.
But he, majority of the time, has to see Patrick Mahomes, and normally it's in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Burn with another Woodward Sports Chat. He said, also, to be clear, if Dan and Brad traded Goff tomorrow, I'd have questions, but I trust in Brad.
For sure.
They're not trading Goff. Nobody's going to trade.
Yeah, no one's trading Goff. No one's saying trade Goff. Like that's not going to happen.
No, he just had a bad game.
Literally, that's all the conversation.
And you can say that. It's okay. Like,
some people
for
can't.
Stick, if Stick were to come out and say, Jared Goff had a bad game, his 4 turnovers are the vast reason why we lost.
He would never do that.
He wouldn't. But it's true. And it's okay to say and still say he's the guy. Like, he picked a bad time to have a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the regular season, you can survive a game. Neil even said, he's like, everybody has a clunker or 2. Everybody has a stink. Patrick Mahomes has a stinker or 2 every year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. But if you have it in the playoffs, you go home and you don't get to start again next week.
The game Patrick Mahomes had the most turnovers ever in his career. You know what it was against?
The Lions.
No, Jared Goff and the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
That Monday night shootout. They get like 3 interceptions or something like that. Mm-hmm. And now everyone that's the what we get to parade around. Jared Goff undefeated against Patrick Mahomes. Nick?
No, I mean, I know we're going to probably get a little bit more into the Goff, Allen, Lamar thing, so I don't want to dive too deep, but it's
I already started. You're good,
they're
man.
different, it's a different level. Like, I think if, Josh Allen's on the Lions, this team's not even close to losing. Like,
You're in the
it's
Super
no
Bowl
discussion.
last year and this year.
Yes,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Like, that's not even up for debate. Like, just
Yeah.
imagining it, like, that's like the definition of a super team.
Josh Allen is a more talented quarterback than Jared Goff.
That's what the conversation gets uncomfortable.
Hot take here.
Breaking news.
Hot take.
Madman. This guy's a madman.
Josh Allen is a
guy's
more
crazy.
talented player than Jared Goff. Like, it's not a surprise. That's not breaking news to anybody except for Stick.
Well, you're just a hater.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But
Well, because he can't run.
you got to do what you got to do, man.
He's not the same guy as Josh Allen because he can't run.
Yeah, he's just the winning.
This is the one.
But, Goff is a very talented quarterback as well. He was a top 5 quarterback this
Yeah.
year. He's an MVP candidate this year. He had a great year. Just had a very bad game
Very
in the
nice guy.
playoffs.
And that's what I'm saying. It gets uncomfortable because, like, in my opinion, obviously this is not everybody else in the room, but I think you throw Goff on that Bills team. I don't know if they're making the playoffs, brother.
I don't think they are.
Like those weapons are very comparable. Actually, no. Cook is actually a dog. So
Cook is very good.
Cook's a dog, and Kincaid's really good too. But we had Hawkins at the time too. That caliber of weapons we had with JG, and we went 3-13-1.
The defense performed very, very well.
Jets, Dolphins, and Patriots are ass here, fellas. Let's be honest.
The defense-
They're winning that division.
Yeah.
The defense
I think
performed
so.
a lot better than I expected it to. But no, the
Good point,
offense, they don't have nearly the level of talent that the Lions have on offense.
Nick's correct though. The AFC East is garbage.
Yeah. Obviously, it'd be a different game, but like Josh Allen did play Superman for a lot of the season.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And it worked.
I mean, they were the
Until it
2
didn't.
seed. They were 2
Until it
seed.
didn't. And to be fair, Dalton Kincaid should have caught that. To be fair, if Josh Allen rolls to the other side, to the strong side of the field instead of the weak side of the field, he's got a wide open Khalil Shakir. And a shit ton of space to run if you wanted to just tuck it and run. He kind of panicked a little bit, but also the pressure was in his face. But you have to know, as Josh Allen, you got to know, if I get pressured on this, I got to roll to my left because I've got a safety valve out there.
Yeah.
If I roll to my right, I'm on the sideline and there's nobody there. If he rolls to his left, he's got a lot of room to scramble, and he's got Khalil Shakir in the flats.
But at the same time,
So-
too, that's so much like it's easier said than
Yeah,
done.
I know.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I'm saying I'm not
Yeah.
blaming him for that play.
Yeah, Ben Solak, I love you, Ben. Kinda, I guess. I don't. You suck. Like, have you seen the narrative? Like, what are you talking? Like, brother, what did you expect him to do?
I'm not blaming him for but you do also. He needs, as the quarterback, you need to know that, and obviously knowing it and acting on it are two different things. But that is, Patrick Mahomes would have made that play.
I don't know.
Just saying that.
That's a tough play.
He would have spun out the right way. You got to be more prepared than that. And obviously, it's easy for me to be a fat loser and sit up here and say it, but like,
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm just
sorry,
saying
I can't.
for the like,
With the blitzers in the face like that, I can't. Like,
yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, I
Yeah.
don't blame Josh Allen for that. The guys were on him in 2 seconds, not even.
Chris, you got that picture I sent?
Yes, I got the first one.
I just want to get to this before break. We cannot, and I understand Patrick Mahomes is sick of seeing it. We cannot allow this godless city of Philadelphia to win another championship. They don't even appreciate their players.
They're the worst.
They are literally the worst. Go ahead, throw it up. This is you won the NFC championship, kid. What are you doing? You should not have to grease the poles around the city for an NFC championship game. That is ridiculous.
I mean,
You haven't won shit. I mean,
hold
I
on.
guess you're going to the big game, but it's not like
Yeah.
we've been deprived of it. I understand Detroit went crazy because we've never been.
Detroit would absolutely go crazy.
We've never been. You were just there 2 years
I'd be
ago.
shaking ass in front of cops if we won the NFC championship game.
I would love to see you recreate that photo.
Yo.
in
If we
front of
win the
riot
NFC
police.
championship game, I'll recreate that photo.
I gotta be honest with you. If you try doing that in front of riot police, they're probably kneeing you in the head.
They're
and
probably
arresting
kicking me in the
you.
face, yeah.
Get out of here. Words you can't say. And then also, Hunter, what are we doing? What we doing, Hunter? Detroit supremacy. If you guys see Chiefs supremacy, talking shit in the chat, it's Hunter. And
your arch nemesis.
My arch nemesis.
That is your arch nemesis.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he just don't
played
quit,
yourself.
even after losing. Maybe I should respect that. I don't know. But we will go to break.
I can't blame Shawty for throwing it back. I would throw it back if we won the NFC Championship. Yeah, throw that up there one more time, Chris.
All right, yeah, let's talk about this.
You know what? Let me hit that.
I mean,
What drop was it?
he's you know what? Let me hit that. I had to see what her face looks like, but
Definitely gotta see what the face looks like.
Or you don't.
or you don't.
Or you don't.
I mean, if you
From
win the
that-
NFC Championship
yeah.
game,
I guess so.
All day.
I'm just saying,
I'm
they
not
were
gonna-
going crazy.
There's a
Some
few
guy
tricks.
was firing rounds in the air.
I did
and
see that.
Yeah, you get, like, relax. You're like, wait till you win the
that's
Super Bowl
crazy.
for all that.
In a crowded street,
The
full of
entire
people.
city was going crazy. The funniest picture actually was the kids that were on the pole reading the AJ Brown book.
Yeah.
They're,
Like I can't blame them for that. I would go crazy if we got a trip to the Super Bowl.
yeah, because we've never been, Spinny.
That's
It's a
true.
little different.
That is true.
A little different. We're allowed.
We're the streets of Kansas City celebrating like that.
No, because it's clockwork.
It is routine for them. It's
Philly was just there 2 years ago. They
I'm
won
s-
with the underdog team.
Flannel's been praising us a lot in the chat. Shout
out.
out Flannel. It's a great first segment, fellas. Before we go to break, I'm starting to really hate Patrick Mahomes. I am.
Why?
I don't. It's like
He's so good.
because I love Brady, so I never got the Brady hate. But I'm starting to hate Patrick Mahomes.
Wow, you
That's
used to
what
love
I
Brady?
Don't get
I
it.
love Brady. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Don't get it.
Interesting.
Where I
Interesting.
like
There's a
appreciate
difference.
Patrick Mahomes, and obviously Josh Allen does this too. But like, he obviously had like crazy throws.
I think his wife is what makes me hate him.
I hate his brother. I don't hate him.
Jackson Mahomes is
I
great.
hate Jackson
Don't you dare
Mahomes.
say that.
I hate
Chris
Jackson
has the
Mahomes.
Jackson Mahomes jersey.
I'm
for
tired,
sure, Jackson
I'm
Mahomes
tired of the
jersey.
Taylor Swift shit.
A shrine.
But just the
actually.
Mahomes ability just to run it in like a fucking like whenever.
I just-
he can do it all.
Just the flopping, the bitching, the I'm here. Like I just
I mean, what do you mean? That's all good.
yeah,
players
but
do.
he sounds like a muppet.
So you hate him because of his voice?
It definitely doesn't help.
Your voicist.
I'm a voicist against Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah.
Whoa.
Animal wifist. Let's go to break though. Tell us about Mark White.
Mark White gonna do you right. You live in the city of Philadelphia and absolutely embarrassed by the way they reacted to that NFC Conference Championship game. Call Mark White and move here in Detroit and celebrate a real quarterback like Jared Goff. Save $5,000 on the closing costs of your new home. Just dial 248-290-8242 or visit markwhitesells.com. That's 248-290-8242 or visit markwhitesells.com.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner? Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights live on WorldSports.com. I'm joined by Raxter, young Chris, Nicholas Koloff. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. Of course, actually, I want to give this one its due credit because we are a little bit over. We were bitching about Patrick Mahomes a little bit too long, so I apologize about that one. What do you want to do this in the spare? Okay, how about this?
Do the one that's up there.
Comp and Goff to Allen Lamar.
No, the other one.
Could the Detroit Lions have beat the Philadelphia Eagles in yesterday's game? Because it's quite clear the Commanders didn't belong. With all due respect,
they did not.
I know they beat us, but like that's
how our game should have looked. If we didn't turn the ball over 5 times, that's what would have happened. Or we would have put up 60 on them and won 2.
I agree. That's why when people try to say been through the game or been called a bad game when he had 200 plus yards of rushing, 500 total of offense.
Yeah, you had more rushing yards, more receiving yards, more first downs, a better third down percentage, a better fourth down percentage,
and less plays.
So, I mean, it sounds like a pretty good called game.
Been called a pretty good game. It's very
Turnovers are not a part of your game plan.
By the way, Saquon 15 carries in that one. What did Jameer Gibson? 14?
14.
Oh. Whoa. Weird. Do you think the Lions would have beat the Eagles, though?
No.
Straight up?
Straight up. Shout out to Gun Guy, take your pants off. But no, I don't think the Lions would have beat the Eagles. I think the injuries would have caught up with us. I think Jalen Carter might have had his way with Graham Glasgow. The way Graham looked like he was injured at the end of it, Jalen Carter was all over the place. Obviously, you would have Frank to take care of him too, and you're looking at those two. Like you're double teaming Jalen Carter every time if you're the Lions, so you can always run away from him. But no, I think the injuries on our defense would have caught up to us. Going up against a team that has a great offensive line too, that has Saquon Barkley, that has A.J. Brown, that has Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts was playing really well.
Jalen Hurts played really well yesterday.
He did.
And they said he had a banged up knee. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, no, he looked very good. And not having Hutchinson and Ali McNeil and Carlton Davis and Meek Robertson and half of those depth pieces as well, I don't think the Lions would have been able to stop the Eagles enough. So it would have been a shootout. Because I don't think the Eagles would have been able to stop us either if we wouldn't have turned the ball over. So it would have been a shootout. I guess you could call it a coin flip, but I wouldn't have put my money on the Lions, though.
Yeah. I mean, I said this, back when we were doing the emo show. I thought the Eagles were the most dangerous team in the left in the NFC, and it wasn't due to anything like that. We weren't good enough or we lacked the talent. We just didn't have the talent available, and specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Like we didn't have enough horses, and they're a stacked team. I mean, Braylon kind of talked about today, like Jalen Carter's become probably a top 10, top 15 guy in the league right now on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
He's a dog, and Graham Glasgow did struggle this year. Whether it was an injury or age, whatever it may have been, it would have been a hell of a matchup. But defensively, I don't know that we would have been able to hang on against Saquon Barkley because we could barely stop Brian Robinson, the gang.
Yeah, I think that would have been the highest total of the playoff. Like if the Lions played the Eagles, it would have been just two offenses going at it. And
yeah,
like one of those games where whoever has the ball last wins. So maybe if you were to talk me into it, yeah, you could say the Lions, but it would have been a shootout.
Nick,
nobody would have stopped anybody.
Yeah, I think just the best player on the field would have taken over in this game with all the injuries to our defensive line, Saquon Barkley. I mean, this guy's unstoppable. He's unreal, and I just still can't believe the Giants let him out of the building. Like, that's got to be the worst, player, acquisition that you've ever let happen for him to go to the Eagles. Like, thank you to the Giants for
ruining the league.
Ruining the NFC.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what you just saw happen in the NFC Championship game. Talk about total domination. First 2 touches he scores on. Like, this guy's an absolute tank. Yeah, I just think the injuries were the reason, that this Lions team would not have beaten the Eagles. That's it. It starts and ends with Hutchinson and McNeil in my eyes. You didn't have the horses like you guys just talked about. Plus, I mean, you saw Daniels run for 51 yards. I mean, Jalen Hurts is extremely good at rushing the ball as well.
Yeah.
It's troubling. I don't think we would have beaten the Eagles, sadly.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that one. And then, real quick, I want to read a comment in the Woodward Sports chat. I think it's Lunchbox Hooligans. Easy. There's a play where he legit punched us in our guard and knocked him out of the game. Talking about Jalen Carter. Did you see that?
Yeah, he did. He punched him right in the face. I used to do that all the time.
Well, he got hit first, to be fair, and he's retaliated.
I used to do that all the time. Just stand up. Wah!
The smacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't a fan of those. Did not like that part of football.
It was fun.
Actually, the worst concussion I ever got was from my own teammate. We were celebrating a sack. I got up, and he just literally took my helmet. I was like, boom!
Yeah.
And I was literally just like...
One of the bad ones I had was the running back tripped behind me, like in the backfield, and he fell into my legs, and my head went right onto the thigh of the guard. Like I was playing right tackle, and my head just hit the guard's thigh, and he was... Shout out my guy Eddie. He was a big dude. He's probably like 350 pounds. So
it was like taking a flying knee.
It was dude. Just I was in the locker room like looking up
back
at the
of your
stars.
head.
No, side of my head, right on his thigh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, how about what do you feel about could the Lions beat the Eagles if they got there?
I mean, look, no, because this game was played in January, not September. Like, you look at this Philadelphia team in September, people were calling for Nick Sirianni's job. And I believe they've only lost one game since then. So, I mean, this is a team that peaked at the right time. The Lions, September, October, would have smoked the Eagles, got them out of here. But that's not when the game is played. The game is played in January. Like you said, a lot of the injuries took place. And this team is just better than it was at the beginning of the season. And unfortunately, you don't win championships in the regular season. You win them in the postseason. So, especially a game like football where it's not a series, it's not a best of, it's just one game, and that's what it was. And so I don't think it would have been ideal to see the Lions winning this game. I think they still could have, just because this offense is bound to go off any game. But ultimately, I'm looking at it, and I don't see how. They were better throughout the regular season, but the playoffs are a different animal. They peaked at the right time. We declined at the right time, and that's what it would have been.
Yeah, and no, I don't regret passing on Jalen Carter for Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, we still got a pretty fucking good guy. So there's nothing to regret in that.
No.
Yeah.
Him, Hutch, and Aleem would have been nasty, though. I will say that.
Oh, dude, that would have been menacing.
Filthy. Yeah. But... Tell us about the merch.
Merch.
We'll move on. Talk about the good things. Detroit Lions did hire both the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator over the weekend. Well, today the offensive coordinator. Nothing official yet on the offensive side of the ball, but Adam Schefter reports it. It's almost as good as gospel. We'll talk about that when we get back. But first, tell us about that merch, Chris.
Let me tell you about that merch, because we got some new stuff. As you can see here, we got some new Detroit shirt designs. Shop now at woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab to get today. We got the Tigers, we got the Wings, we got the Lions, the Pistons, we got all of the best teams in Detroit represented here on Woodward Sports. So if you want the best Detroit swag, go to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab today, and get yourself some brand new merch.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? You should see what I did there. Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. And catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. And he's joined by Small Rax, Chris, Crash Out Koloff, a.k.a. Microwave Mario. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend. It's time to break the news. Well, Spinny says it's not necessarily
official yet.
But it's expected to be official here shortly. Looking to sign, the Detroit Lions are passing game coordinator of the Denver Broncos, John Morton, as their new offensive coordinator. He was here in 22. Dan Campbell had some bright comments to say about him, said he contributed a lot to the offense. I believe that was Ben Johnson's first year as an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Dan Campbell said he did a lot of stuff behind the scenes a lot of people don't know about. He formerly was the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets, where I believe they ranked 24th in scoring, 28th in total yards. But it was Josh McCown, it was Robbie Anderson, now chosen, as well as I think Brian Powell.
Yeah,
However,
we got the list
wait,
right here.
Chris.
Oh, well.
However, I think that's the thing I was going to say anyway.
Yeah.
The career high numbers.
Yeah, I was going to
Josh McCown, career high yards, touchdowns, Powell yards. I don't know about Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, do you want the good or the bad with him first? With Johnny Morton.
Give me the bad. I went over some good just now. A little bit good.
Okay, so the bad of Johnny Morton is why he got fired and the reason he got fired, cited by ESPN's article on him. If you could throw that up, Chris. This is from Rich Chimmy of ESPN. He said,
Rich Chimmy, bro.
This is when he was fired in 2018 from the New York Jets. He says Bulls felt Morton was too pass reliant, a sentiment echoed by the locker room. Several players were unhappy with his play calling throughout the season. ESPN reported on January 1st. He thinks he's in New Orleans Saints playing in a dome, one player said, alluding to Morton's previous team. Members of the coaching staff also clashed with Morton, sources said. They expressed concern about his ability to design and execute a consistent running game. And, so the ESPN was reporting that he was fired from the Jets job because he didn't run the ball enough.
This has got to be torture for the people who thought Ben Johnson didn't run Jahmyr Gibbs enough in that Commanders game. I don't know how I feel about this one yet, Spinny, to be honest with you. I'm kind of tossing back and forth with it. I think in a league where you're seeing more and more just young, innovative minds take over the league in terms of offensive play callers, it was a little bit head-scratching or not even concerning, but just you're taken back a little bit when you see this 55-year-old guy step in. And then you mentioned that, right, not running the ball enough when that's kind of the bread and butter of this football team because even when Jared Goff does get going, it's most likely going to be on a play action. However, I do trust Dan Campbell. I do think this team is stacked on the offensive side of the ball. From the offensive line, you have two amazing running backs, one that's literally top three, and he's not three. You have obviously all-pro receiver in St. Brown, a kid that's still sitting in Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. I just don't think you could really F this up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you got a lot of weapons, and that was the good of Johnny Morton was this tweet from Nick Bianchi.
Nolan
Bianchi, excuse me. Yeah, he says, is the 2017 Jets offense under Morton. Josh McCown, career high in passing yards and touchdowns. Bilal Powell, career high in rushing yards and touchdowns. Robbie Anderson, career high in touchdowns, second most yards of his career. Jermaine Kearse, career high in receiving yards and touchdowns. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins, career high in receiving yards. So you love to hear that. That's great. That's getting the most out of subpar performers. The best guy on that list is probably Bilal Powell.
Yeah.
But you also look at in that 2017 season, Bilal Powell's career high in rushing yards was 772, and his career high in touchdowns was 5. And then you look at Josh McCown in that 2017 season. His career high in passing yards was 2,926, and his career high in passing touchdowns was 18. Yeah. So it's not like they were breaking records with these guys, but it was getting bad guys to perform better than they have in their career, if you want to look at it that way.
Which is good. Yeah, like honestly, you've taken guys that bad collectively too, and you're able to make them all show something or flash something. I think that's you're doing pretty well. Now, the clashes behind the scenes, maybe there's some questions about that, but you got Dan Campbell, who was a hell of a leader in that locker room, and it probably would punch him in the face.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd be dealing with any of that type of stuff. The vertical aspect of his offense, though, is the only thing that makes me concerned because he does like to take a lot of deep shots. We saw it this year with Bo Nix. Although it wasn't the play caller, but just in the past between Robbie Chosen Anderson and what we saw Bo Nix, like it's not JG's game per se.
And I'm salty in the Woodward Sports chat is spamming 3rd and 1, pass it twice, because that is what was cited
in the article. Was they had a 1st and goal from like the 1, but
they ended up taking the field goal after going 3 incomplete pass plays in a row. That was what Todd Bowles said, that was the breaking point of John Morton's
had to see him fucking spaz.
Offensive coordinator regime in the New York Jets. Was against the Carolina Panthers. They had a 1st and goal from the 1 or the 2, and he threw the ball 3 times, all 3 going incomplete, and they kicked the field goal.
So, for sure, horrendous decision making there. That sounds awful.
Yeah,
that's not Jahmyr Gibbs. It's not Panay. I'm saying
5 touchdown Bilal Paul. Look out.
Yeah, we got a different makeup over here. We got different people to work with over here. I think you would want to run the ball when you got a kid like Jahmyr Gibbs back there. How do you not want to give that kid the ball at all times, knowing what he could do at any time he touches it? 70-yard touchdown we saw against the Vikings, or no, that one was against the Tennessee Titans. But I think there's some nuance there when you start having those conversations. Did he have what he needed to get the job done that way?
Yeah, and I think having Hank Fraley as your offensive line coach and run game coordinator is an extremely big factor if you do bring in a guy like John Morton, who is notorious for not running the ball enough. I think having a guy like Hank Fraley, who knows this run scheme, who helped design this run scheme, who has implemented this run scheme with multiple different offensive linemen and running backs in this Detroit Lions organization, I think that is an extremely symbiotic relationship he needs to have with John Morton when it comes to calling this offense. And real quick, Chris, Dante151, the Woodward Sports Chat, says, I think Tanner Strand wasn't ready just yet for the OC position, so I fully understand this hire when it goes through. And yeah, it's not confirmed yet. Adam Schefter did report that it is in the works.
It's expected or something.
It is expected to be done, but it is not confirmed yet. But yes, that is John Morton.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to take it, was the Tanner Strand. So I did want to bring in that super chat there. Because that's the angle I'm fascinated with. I don't think this would cause a huge kerfuffle in the locker room, if Tanner Strand. But we did all kind of have that expectation. And, him not stepping up to that, I think that just means what Dante151 is getting at here, and that he would. It's not that he's not incapable, it's that he just probably wasn't ready for this position, and they looked around the league and they saw an opportunity to upgrade. But I do wonder that, because I go back to the Dan Campbell, who was the coach that he fired 4 games
Anthony Lynn.
Yes, Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
So that's why I have faith, because ultimately Dan Campbell's the guy too to see if 5-6 weeks into the season we're not where we need to be. Let's make the change. So that's why I have all the confidence in the world that this is a very low-risk, high-reward move to me, because I've seen Dan Campbell, if things aren't going right, have a good pulse for this team and make the executive decision and it work out. So there's a track record there to bring in an outside hire.
And this is not, like we said, it's not confirmed yet.
It's not
confirmed yet. But this is a guy that's familiar with Dan Campbell. He's worked with him in New Orleans. He's worked on this Lions staff before. So it's a guy he's comfortable with. Obviously, he brought him in here to have an interview with him. We'll see what happens. But per Adam Schefter, all the signs are pointing that it's going to be him.
And his offensive pedigree, too. I mean, the one thing I like about him the most is that he's worked with so many great coaches. He's been with Pete Carroll. He's been with Jim Harbaugh, Dan Campbell, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So many guys that have done great things in this game that you learn little things from here and there. When he was with Pete Carroll, I think they averaged 30 points a game when he was offensive coordinator of USC before Lane Kiffin came in and took over play calling. And he's a Michigan guy. There's that little piece of it. He's from Auburn Hills, graduated from Western Michigan, played wide receiver. That's probably why he likes to pass the ball so goddamn much. But I just don't know if he was necessarily equipped to run the ball as much as we'd like to here in Detroit. But like I said, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, Penei Sewell, and the rest of this offensive line. There's no way in hell you're not running that thing.
And if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know the recipe to success for this Lions offense. And in the 3 losses this year, Jared Goff threw the ball on average 51 times in those games. Jahmyr Gibbs has to be a top 5 player in the league next year. Yeah, that's so easy. And you have I would say the second, the best number 2 running back in David Montgomery. So you have 2 really good backs. I mean, Vaki moving forward. Let's see what he's going to do. But yeah, it's just it's so obvious for this team to have success that you cannot get caught up throwing the ball too much. And as we've seen this year, the times that we lose, Goff is throwing the ball over 50 times a game. And I want to just shout out, I know he's in the Broncos organization, one thing that slept on in Bo Nix's game that Jared Goff doesn't have is his ability to run. He had 41 first downs this year with his legs. Jared Goff doesn't have that. So that was able to extend drives for the Broncos this season. Jared Goff doesn't have that. So we'll see what comes into play here. You're going to come into this
offense, you know it's going to be run heavy. It has to be. Like, I don't care if you're Joe Montana getting a job as an offensive coordinator for the Lions. You know you got to run the ball a lot with this team, with how it's built, and with the strength of it's obvious. And obviously you can't run the ball a lot when you turn it over and you're playing from behind. You're going to have to throw the ball more. So we'll see what happens. If he even gets the job. Not Johnny Morton. John Morton.
He may go by Johnny, but we're not doing that.
He may go by, but he's not the Johnny Morton you're thinking of.
Yeah. I don't want to confuse anybody with that one.
And a real quick tidbit before we go to break here.
I'll get one more in too.
Okay, you go. Mine's nothing about Johnny Morton. So.
Okay. I just think the way Dan Campbell expressed, he wanted things very similar, very to the same. If they've been doing it the past 3 years. If there are concerns with him, like Dan Campbell absolutely had that same conversation with him. Like, we're gonna run the fucking ball. Like, you're coming here, you want this job, this is how I want it done. And I fully expect it to be executed that way again because you have the tools to get it done.
Yeah, and before we go to break, just a quick update to everybody. Tress Way has more passing yards in the conference championship than Dak Prescott in their careers. So,
what'd you say?
Just that for you. In their careers, Tress Way has more passing yards in conference championship games than Dak Prescott.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Has Dak ever been in one?
Nope.
Yeah.
That's I saw
by the way, I saw the super chat. Desert Storm 11 or Station 11 asked Chiefs or CJGJ. Chiefs. You gotta know. I'm taking the Chiefs. I want the Chiefs.
I don't want that. I don't want the Eagles to have some momentum. Sorry, Spencer. Like, I don't want them to have that under their belt this year. The Eagles in the NFC. Like, if anyone's gonna dethrone the freaking Chiefs, like, story 30 for 30, have it perfectly written for the Lions to do so.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Coming off a three-peat.
Yeah.
The most dominant franchise the NFL's
Patrick Mahomes has never beaten Jared Goff.
Yeah.
God, he's so good.
Mahomes goes down. Aiden Hutchinson.
I saw a podcast say this. I don't know who it was, but I think they're from Philly. Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts both were born, grew up, went to college, became pros, and played in an NFC championship game since the Cowboys have been there.
Sheesh. Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie, get it. Jalen Hurts been in the league for a minute now.
They're the same age. Jaden Daniels.
And Jalen Hurts played at multiple different colleges as well.
Jaden Daniels like 24, 25.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Daniels is 24.
That makes a lot more sense why he's like so different.
Same with Bo Nix.
Same with Bo Nix, exactly. Yeah, that makes way more sense.
All right, let's go to break. I'll tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone where everyone, and we mean everyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. You'll get a full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of that for just $15 a month. Planet Fitness, join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
1800 Tequila is the smoothest tequila in the game, the best tasting tequila in the game. They have teamed up with the Detroit Lions and Woodward Sports. Make sure when you are going out to get the best tequila in the game, you get the custom-made Lions bottle. Look at that. That thing just looks very pretty. Tequila, the best tasting tequila in the game. When you drink it, please drink responsibly.
Buongiorno, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm joined by some more Rax, old Chris, Nicholas Cole. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. We're basically talking about the Detroit Lions' new offensive coordinator hire, expected to be. We had a super chat from Burn, which I thought was a great one. Chris, you mind reading that one again?
Yeah, let me cut to it.
Go ahead, take your time for that one. A couple comments from Dan Campbell heading into like the hiring of the offensive coordinator. He also said he wanted Goff's input. He said Jared Goff will have an input on this.
That is true.
And maybe he chose a pass-happy offensive coordinator to ruin the Detroit Lions. Get him on time. I'm backing around. What was the super chat?
So the super chat comes from Burn, consistent super chat. So shout out to Burn as always. He was also part of, and this is referring to the potential offensive coordinator for the Lions. He was also part of the 2002 Raiders, 2006 Saints, and 2012 49ers. Also, you'd pass too if you had those bum running backs. So shout out to Bird.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see the running backs he had. Because when was he at USC? I guess would be the best time to look at his running backs. Because every other position has been like a receiver coach or tight ends coach. It's like the running back stuff. I saw a couple comments in there like, you guys aren't mentioning the running backs that he's had. Well, we did mention Bilal Powell, and he was Carbaggio. With all due respect to him. He's played in the NFL, and I didn't.
But career year
when he did.
So five touchdowns for him.
He was only the offensive coordinator for the Jets in 2017. He was. Other than that, he's the senior offensive assistant, the passing game coordinator. Wow, Wikipedia already has him listed as the Lions' offensive coordinator.
That was fast. The best thing about Wikipedia is that anybody can put anything on
those rosters.
Yeah,
running backs.
He was at USC from 2007 to 2008, where he was the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach. And then in 2009 to 2010, he's the offensive coordinator and the wide receivers coach.
Okay. That's one thing that's kind of weird, too, I will say, though. Lots of hopping around. Like, no, just staying put at one place. Is that... I'm going to throw that out there. I guess I'm wondering just why.
I mean, look, it's not a perfect correlation, but there's some people that are great at doing it. Larry Brown was a phenomenal basketball coach, but he never stayed. So, you know, I don't care. I don't care, dude. If this guy,
I don't care.
I don't even care. But if he's a merciless gun for hire, it gets us a Super Bowl. Cool. I don't care.
I don't care.
Care.
That was the Matt Barkley year.
Chris don't care.
Not at all.
He had Joe McKnight.
1,000-yard season.
Have a 1,000-yard season on 164 carries.
Alan Bradford, 600 yards.
Alan Bradford also, yeah.
Was an RB2. That's pretty good.
All right, now you guys are just making
And Joe
up
McKnight
names.
missing the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Bradford played one more game than him. Yeah, it's tough to get a gauge on that run game because it's really only been assistants, receiver coaches,
and
everything to deal with passing. So now we know why he's pass heavy. But again, I wouldn't expect Dan Campbell to bring in a guy in here that does not want to run the ball. I would expect you to give Hank Fraley a hell of a raise to not run the ball.
And
also
change
making
that title.
Your run game coordinator, right? Like, and you also have a top 3 back in the game.
Executive offensive line coach.
There's just no way. Yeah. Your executive offensive line coach.
Assistant to the executive offensive line coach.
But there's no way you have Jahmyr Gibbs in your team and you're just neglecting to run the football. And no, I don't think Ben Johnson neglected to run the football with him in the Commanders game. You were down 17 with 7 minutes left to go in the fourth. You shouldn't have been calling a huddle at that point. But This signing overall, Sweeney, if you had to give a grade on it, what would you give a letter grade for John Morton?
I don't know. Yeah, B minus, C
B
plus.
minus. Ooh,
That's
low.
That's average. That's above average.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it. I mean, we'll see. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really. He's got the track record, like I said, of he did some good things with some subpar players and with the Jets, and I don't like he doesn't run the ball, so he got fired. Like, that's not a great thing to have over his head. But like I said, it's a completely different environment he's coming into. So we'll see.
By the way, send some super chats. We're still trying to win that competition. I believe that ends next week. If you guys give us your takes on the new offensive coordinator, or soon to be the new offensive coordinator, John Morton, not Johnny Morton, not to get confused with the legendary Detroit Lions wide receiver. Nick, what's your letter grade for this hiring?
I'm at like a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. It's nothing flashy in my eyes. I mean, he has a relationship with Dan, so at least he knows what he's bringing to the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, as a leader of men, I would have to imagine like he's really good. Like he has a good presence about him. I would have to figure that's the case here. But yeah, maybe B minus. I'd say just for the factor that Spenny just said about running the ball. Like, what are we like? If you're in the Super Bowl, are we gonna do a Marshawn Lynch, not give the ball to Marshawn type play here? Like, what are we gonna do?
And
that does scare me.
I got
some
some
receivers you worked with.
A Jets fan on Twitter.
Okay.
Commenting on this move. It's a burner on Twitter from a Jets fan.
Oh, God.
So take it for what it is. But he says, wow, he was the Jets offensive coordinator in 2017. Got a competent offense with McCown as quarterback 1, Bilal Powell as running back 1, and Robbie Anderson as wide receiver 1 with with a shitty offensive line. Was mad when Bulls fired him and still look back on that move. Lions hit it out of the park here.
Wow.
And then he said, been around some elite coaches, and they all vouch for him. His 1 year as an NFL OC, he got way more production than he should have out of that roster. And I always wondered if Darnold's career would have looked different with Morton instead of the clowns the Jets had.
You know, that's kind of like my whole life. Mike Martz. Remember we had him for a little bit, but we had a complete poop team. I wish we never got rid of him. I really do. Mike Martz. He called the greatest show on turf. He was a Lions offensive coordinator when we had like John Kitna.
So I know that that's a random Jets fan on Twitter.
Yeah, random
but
Jets
that
fan.
makes me feel better. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does.
And like I said, the 1 year of him being an offensive coordinator,
you got the best out of
you
the
got
worst.
the best out of subpar talent. Josh McCown, not a good quarterback. Bilal Powell, not a good running back. Robbie Anderson, not a good receiver. And their offensive line was bad.
He's probably the best of the bunch.
Robbie Anderson was by far the best player on that offense, and saying that is crazy.
He's a good wide receiver too.
So
no,
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson is a deep threat.
Yeah,
that's it.
About it.
So seeing that, you like that. Obviously, the news of him getting fired by Todd Bowles because he didn't run the ball enough, you don't like to hear. But you also have to think of he had Bilal Powell in that Jets offensive line.
Yeah.
With the Lions offensive line, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, I don't think you're going to have to worry about him not running the ball.
And to put that in perspective, the Jets haven't had an offensive line since God knows when. Like it's been, they have never, as long as I've lived, I can't think of a time, maybe outside of when Braylon was there, they had a good offensive line, like Nick Mangold and a few of those guys. You guys asked about the running backs he's worked with. Again, a lot more than wide receivers. He's worked with Michael Crabtree, Mario Manningham, Braylon Edwards, which we have to get his take on that one, Randy Moss, Anquan Bolden, Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas, and Marquise Colston. Some dogs in there, and some guys that overachieved.
Yeah.
Mario Manningham, Michael Crabtree included, I'd say.
Michael Crabtree, Mario Manningham, Marcus Colston, and Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
All on that Saints team?
No, this is receivers he worked with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, no way.
Anquan Bolden, too, who I love. I think he's like one of the smartest wide receivers to play the game. I remember we got him here that 1 year. He
had a good year.
35. He was like old as shit, but he had a dog-ass year.
Yeah.
Like he was not supposed to be that good.
He was like Tim Patrick.
Dude, he was amazing.
But better. Yeah.
And then we didn't re-sign him. Well, I don't think he wanted to be here, though. I think something else came in with that one.
Well, yeah, because he saw what happened in that Falcons game when he scored the game-winning touchdown and it got called back.
Yeah.
That was
rough. I'm gonna go with
ridiculous.
I'm gonna go with a B.
That was the 10-second runoff, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Was Bolden here for that? I thought Bolden was before that.
Was
it was Golden Tate that scored.
Yeah,
I do remember
Tate.
Anquan scoring a game winner though.
I'll look it up.
I think I remember that. I think it was in overtime that he had a touchdown.
Anquan Bolden, I think you're correct.
But okay, you said a B.
Either way, yeah, I'm gonna go with a B. Like I said, modern era NFL. I think the best offensive minds is the one that we didn't let them walk out the door, but walked out the door. And Ben Johnson, these young, innovative guys, just kind of recreate the game the way it's called now. Johnny Morton, like I said, did some good things and obviously helped us in the past. And Jared Goff had a say in this as well. I don't know if that's due because he likes to throw the ball a ton or not, but I'm gonna go B, and we'll just have to see it out. A lot more confident somehow in the defensive coordinator choice that we'll talk about soon too.
I'm kind of concerned though just about that split or that kind of chasm that could be existing between the run and the pass game. Like it almost feels like he's just brought in as like a super duper mind for the passing game. Like it seems
maybe
like
Dan Campbell's calling the plays this year.
And
so someone did comment that on one of my tweets.
I want it.
I don't know.
I want it.
You have Hank Fraley as your run guy, and you have
him as your pass guy?
Him as your pass guy, and maybe Dan Campbell's calling the plays. We'll see.
Yeah.
Obviously, the hire still isn't even official.
Yeah. That's my concern with it is that you're starting to get too many people calling shots, and I don't know if it's quite going to be delegated the right way. Plus, even if it is, it will probably take some time for the three of them to get on the same page and have some synergy. So that's my only concern about it. If you're going to kind of get a guy that's not going to be that's going to be a passing expert, and then you got Hank Fraley, who's now going to be kind of your run specialist, and then Dan Campbell. We've seen too many chefs in the kitchen be a bad thing before.
Yeah, but in the NFL, you need all those chefs. Like you have a run game coordinator and a pass game coordinator on most teams. You have guys that the offensive coordinator is listening to. So
and if they're like a bunch of old heads, I can see it because the older you get, the more you think you know, versus like young guys. We got a fairly mixed young guys, and I think Johnny Morton would be the oldest guy on this staff,
probably
55 years old. Anquan Bolden, by the way, that year had 584 yards and 8 touchdowns. So not quite the year I remember, but 8 touchdowns is actually pretty formidable.
That's really good.
Yeah, that was 2016, by the way. Over the weekend, Calvin Shepard officially became your Detroit Lions defensive coordinator. We'll talk about that when we get back, but not before someone tells us about Les Stanford Chevrolet.
I will tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet. New year, new you. How about a new car? Les Stanford Buick GMC is here for you. Get a 2025 Hummer EV SUV for 24 months with 10,000 miles a year, only $699 a month with $1999 down payment, or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, 24 months with 10,000 miles a year, only $359 per month. Sign and drive, no money down. GM discount required for both. Get to Les Stanford today to check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. LesStanford.com.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Soroki's. Crispy Chicken and Pizza, guys. It's the spot to go to. I actually just met one of the owners this weekend, picking up some booze and chicken on my way to the Red Wings game. Had a great time, by the way.
Yeah,
Soroki's.com. Find one near you guys. 7 signature flavors of the brand new chicken wings. Make sure you find it at Soroki's.com.
Except Nikita Kucherov's a bitch.
Yeah, that was whack.
bitch.
That was super whack.
I really hope Austin Watson gets called up for that game.
Talbot, I got a little nervous at the end. That one kind of just, luckily, just like knuckle pucking a little bit there.
He made some great saves.
Was that the one
Shout out
that
to
had,
my
like-
boy Jesse, man. Great seats. We were in the suite, so like you could just see everything up close and up. I was in the Jumbotron going crazy.
You got on the jumbo?
Yeah, I got a couple texts. But the part that sucks is like it kept going back to action.
Yeah.
So like I was just going crazy, but I was getting lightheaded because I was waiting. He's like, keep going. I was like, oh!
Yeah.
I was ready to pass out.
That's a good ass pregame right there. You get some Soroki's, get some booze.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you guys are in the suite? Damn, thanks for the invite, bro.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yo, Jesse, $300.
No, I don't. I don't, Jesse.
No,
I bought the
seats
lap
aren't taken.
dance.
Huh?
I bought the lap dance.
Yeah.
On the stage.
Great time. Great time.
Was a great time.
Detroit Lions officially hired Calvin Shepard as their defensive coordinator. How sick is that, man?
It's dope. It's really dope. Like this guy deserved it. Calvin Shepard obviously was being groomed by Aaron Glenn to take over this role. Calvin Shepard was told to play in this position or to be in it. He was taking the team and running the room in meetings. Obviously, you saw the very beginning of it, the sparks of it on Hard Knocks when he's commanding that that linebacker room the way he was. This guy is
right away too.
Is a leader of men. It's what he is. And Calvin Shepard, very deserving of this role. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with this defense. Excited to see what he keeps with the Aaron Glenn scheme and the changes he makes himself. Because, and we talked about it, how much these linebackers have improved since being under Calvin Shepard. When you look at Alex Anzalone, Malcolm Rodriguez, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, linear improvement from all of these guys every single season. So he was the heir apparent, and they gave him the job. And tip of the cap to Calvin Shepard. He deserves it, and congratulations to him. I know he's a friend of the network, so
yes,
happy for him, man. He deserves it for sure.
Yeah, it's just so dope to see because we've watched this guy grow to this point, and it's a little bit, I guess, I don't know what word I'm looking for, a little different than most scenarios because some guys you got to cut your teeth a little bit more. But we watched him come in, start his coaching resume with the Detroit Lions in terms of like the NFL level, and just slowly grow throughout the process. And for you to impress a guy like Dan Campbell, who again has been around the Bill Parcells, who's been around Sean Payton, who's been around just so many great football minds, for you to impress him enough to make this hire just 6 years into your coaching career, I'm ecstatic about it a little bit for Calvin Shepard here. But 2021, he becomes the outside linebackers coach. Then, as you said, the linebackers coach. We saw that one on Hard Knocks, the way he's kind of delivering, like, just you got to fucking step up. And then the one thing I appreciate, too, especially in that linebacker room, how many times, Spinny, or just anybody right now, Jack Campbell comes in, supposed to be a middle linebacker. You got to teach him to be a Sam. Mm-hmm. We just had to get him on the field. We lose a countless amount of guys to injuries last year, and we got guys filling different holes. Alex Anzalone actually was probably, I believe I read, was his favorite guy to work with because he came in as an outside linebacker, then it crafted back into a middle linebacker, but then back into the outside linebacker once Jack Campbell came up. But like reading some of the stuff I read, I believe from Justin Rogers, is he teaches his players everything. He wants you to know the why. Not just, hey, this is your role, this is the way you do it. This is why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And then you got to know what this guy's doing. And that way it works too. Again, you got to fulfill situations. And he also wants to see guys grow because he's a former player himself. He said he kept it real in that interview too. He's like, let's keep it a buck. Everyone's here to get paid. Like, yeah, you want to win, but at the end of the day, like, you're also here to get paid. We know the goal. I'm telling you what's best suited for you to get paid.
This is how you show out. This is how you get your stats. This is how you make plays to get paid.
Exactly. And I believe it was our guy, Chad, that texted us that Adam Gase is one of the smartest football players he had been around at the linebacker position. And then now here he is, defensive coordinator, and he's been being groomed to be that.
A meteoric
from Aaron
rise.
Glenn. And I remember an interview had it in like a few months back where he felt damn sure confident in holding down this role. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't know if he was going to get it based off his age. I'm like, I don't know who's going to give him that opportunity. And the other part, too, is I'll never forget specifically. I believe this part was either on Hard Knocks or just in an interview. I think it may have been an interview when he got the job. And he's kind of talking about like coming into the coaching world. And he felt that he needed to wear the long sleeves. And he had to cut his dreads. Yeah. And Dan Campbell said, I'm not hiring for you for your hair. I'm hiring you for your football mind, your football acumen. Like that's why you're here to be coach of this team. And now to see him like have that, I guess, insecurity or question about coming into NFL coaching and now becoming that defensive coordinator spot that he talked about, it's kind of cool to see. Nick, what's your reaction to Calvin Shepard becoming the Detroit Lions defensive coordinator?
A+ hire. I think you gotta you went in-house for this one, and it looks like we're going out-of-house for the OC, obviously, but I'm A+. I think just his presence is the thing that sticks out the most to me. Obviously, his players love him, and when he was on Hard Knocks, it was just elite leadership skills. Every time he took the podium, his presence was, second to none. I mean, besides maybe Dan Campbell, but he really had it, and you can tell. I think him being a linebacker for 8 years in the NFL really helps out for his respect that he gets from the other players because he's been there. He's not preaching something he doesn't know, and I think that's big moving forward. And Dan Campbell obviously thought so as well. So, I mean, I think it's an A+ hire. I'm really excited to see what he can do once this defense gets back healthy.
Yeah. This is a great move. This was the move. And we talked about Saleh. We talked about, possibly Dennis Allen. And Dennis Allen held out hope to be the Lions defensive coordinator until they hired Calvin Shepard. And then he said, all right, I'll decide to go to the Bears.
Yeah. You think that's how it went down?
It's 100% how it went down.
Yeah.
He was waiting to see what the Lions did. The Lions promoted Calvin Shepard, so he went to his second choice. And this man deserves it. Like, he deserves it. You can see the way Aaron Glenn speaks about him, the way Dan Campbell speaks about him, the way his linebackers and the guys that he coaches speak about him. He is ready for this. He is prepared for this. This is what he was meant to be. We talked about it all the time, like years ago. We're like, Calvin Shepard's going to be a defensive coordinator at some point. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. And the future is now. So I'm excited to see what Shep does and expect that ferocity, aggression, tackling, mean, angry defense, that's going to be the same.
He's got the defensive coordinator voice too.
He's got
the OG voice. One other point I guess I'd like to point out too is, like, I remember when we drafted Jack Campbell and we heard the stories about Derek Barnes just like kind of just crashing out a little bit over it. Texting Calvin Shepard like, what's next? What do I do
asking
now?
God.
Kind of freaking out. Yeah, having to pray to God. But then you saw the best out of Derek Barnes that following season. Like, such an easy moment for a former fourth-round pick who never really cut his teeth yet as a Detroit Lion here to just kind of crash out, pack it in. And no, he came out fucking swinging that following year. Played lights out, fulfilling that Sam role, which just has so many responsibilities from blitzing the quarterback to actually drop back into coverage. Calvin Shepard just keeping him afloat and keeping everything between the ears, calming that down, allowing him to focus on his game. I thought that's a big jump in him too, or just a big badge for him as a head coach. And there's one more point I was going to make, and it's actually one that Neil made earlier. The familiarity. Like, this is like a rookie defensive coordinator would be a little bit nerve-wracking had he not known the pieces on this team, had he not worked or been with Brian Branch, had he not been with Kirby Joseph, had he not been with Jack Campbell and the rest of the crew, Aiden Hutchinson included. Like, he's familiar with everybody in their roles and what they're capable of doing. We're just fine.
He's been holding the meetings. He's been being groomed for this, and that's you're exactly right, Easy, is when you're worried about a rookie coordinator, you're worried about him getting familiar with his staff, him getting familiar with his players, with this team. He's already been here. He knows these guys. He knows how to use them, obviously. So I think that you've seen him get the best out of his players in his room, and I expect him to get the best out of his players in this defense.
From Malcolm Rodriguez to Chris Board to Germ
to Ben Neiman making plays, to Trevor Nowaski coming in here making
that room
plays.
Has produced for that linebacking room, and Calvin Shepard's the reason why.
Absolutely. It's not just your sixth-round pick possibly starting his rookie year. And shout out to Malcolm, he's a dog as well, so that plays some role into it. But like I said, Ben Neiman stepping in, making plays. Trevor Nowaski stepping in, making plays. Germ being a guy who's, he's been serviceable here and there, but was a majority a special teams guy, making some big-time plays under Calvin Shepard. Chris Long, Ezekiel Turner, guys off the streets. Or David Long, Ezekiel Turner, guys off the streets, stepping in there and making plays. He has got the best out of his players since he's been a coach. And I expect him to continue doing that. I expect this defense to be damn good next year under the tutelage of Calvin Shepard.
Shout out to Calvin Shepard. Again, lengthy interview. I'm going to dive a little bit more into that one too, but we do have to go to break, pay some bills. Tell us about Lady Jane's.
Lady Jane's awesome is when a guy can get a haircut and feel like a king. And Lady Jane's takes the chore out of getting your haircut. From one of our lovely, talented stylists, you can get a hot lather neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment, and an award-winning haircut. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. And catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Joe by Lamar, Raxter, young Chris, Nicholas Koloff. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. I'm reading a couple comments. Is Tanner leaving?
No.
Oh, okay. I just read Steve Wild's thing. Tanner left and Brunell. To my knowledge, neither of those guys are leaving.
of those guys have left.
How are you? I was set in stone that the guy getting hired in-house was Tanner Extrand.
Yeah.
And I thought outhouse, that sounds weird, would be the defensive coordinator spot. It was the exact opposite, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very surprised by that. What do you think it was about Tanner Extrand? He wasn't ready.
It must be.
Could he command a room? Didn't trust him to call plays.
Must be. He just. Well, again, this is not official, but it must be that they did not think he was ready. If they give John Morton this job.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what it was. I don't have anything. Any inside source or stories to tell you what it was, but I don't know. They literally were grooming him to take over when Ben left. Maybe Dan just trusts John more. That could be it. Like crunch time moment, crunch time situation. Like you could be a smart mind, but like when shit hits the fan,
is he still a fan?
Like who are you in that moment? Maybe Tanner hasn't shown himself well in those situations. Maybe he's a freak out. Maybe a little crash out. In those situations.
Little microwave Nick.
And John's just a fucking dog.
Little crash out call.
A hardened 55-year-old
I'm built for that shit. What you talking
savage.
about?
But how much of that matters if Dan Campbell is going to be the play caller? Because we talked about that part with Tanner Strand that we proposed this last week when we were talking about Tanner and when we assumed he was going to be the OC, that maybe Dan Campbell's the one calling the plays, and we kind of debated back and forth, is that a good thing or a bad thing? But, you know, here we talked about it again. We brought it up with, you know, the fact that John Morton, it seems like he's more of going to be involved in the passing game, more focused on the passing game, and you have Hank Fraley dealing with the offensive line and the run game and those parts of it. So maybe that means Dan Campbell's calling the play, and those two are kind of serving under him. So that's why I'm confused why, if Tanner isn't ready for the limelight, so to speak, why does that matter if Dan Campbell's going to be the one calling the plays? So we all don't know the answer. I'm just kind of
we don't know if
things
Dan's
out.
calling the plays for sure.
Yeah, we don't know if this guy's the offensive coordinator yet for sure.
Yeah, we don't.
So obviously we have to see how all the cookies crumble before we decide who's going to do what.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I guess going back to the John Morton thing, like we know the story of Ben and Goff. It's like almost of legend. It's Lions lore. They sat in the dark room 3 days, Chick-fil-A and tape, and they got it done. Like I never heard John being like a part of that until this hire. Then the one quote came out during the combine.
Yeah.
So like, maybe he has a little bit more role in developing that offense than we're led on to believe. Because remember, they wanted that continuity. He was only here for that 1 year. There's been 2 more years since then, and we've grown, I believe, as an offense since those 2 years. But this is Dan's guy. It's what we said in the beginning of the hiring process. You have faith in Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes to get it done, and we just gotta remain true to that. even though Dan Campbell's first offensive hire was that very same year. But we'll see.
But again, that should give you faith that Dan Campbell has a good pulse on this team, and if he feels something isn't working, he'll make a move. So that, to me, that's why I'm not too concerned with any of these hires, because I ultimately trust Dan Campbell's pulse on this team more than anything. Brad Holmes' pulse on this roster more than anything. So I have confidence there. What do you guys think is going to happen though on the defensive side? What kind of shuffling around? Obviously, there's going to be a role to fill in that linebackers room, but we saw them kind of, make up a job for Hank Fraley.
Well, they already hired their their linebackers coach.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Sean Dion Hamilton, who was the assistant linebackers coach. Who again is the name that's popped up when guys talk about who's helping them. Sean Dion Hamilton's come up multiple times, so I have the utmost confidence in him to hold that linebacker spot down. But I don't know if I expect too much shuffling around the defensive side of the ball in terms of like play calling, just because I remember specifically just the process of AG being our defensive coordinator. And guys not being on board with the philosophy, number one was Aubrey Pleasant off the top of my head. Then after that, I believe it was Dre Bly. And then you had the situation with John Scott Jr., Todd Wash before. Like, there's been multiple guys kind of like Dan Campbell shed off from because they didn't buy into the philosophy. And as much as everyone points to AG as that being his philosophy, Dan Campbell in that same presser said that he still wants to run
same
band.
thing, yeah.
And he still wants to send blitz. It's like Dan Campbell's a big believer in that too. So if you're not buying in, how do I expect you to get our players to buy in? Kelvin Shepard obviously bought in, and then they groomed him to become this defense coordinator. I think a lot of that would be the same, maybe more linebacker blitzes, which I'm personally a bigger fan of.
Yeah.
If it's not Fonte Miller with Brian Branch, like let's keep it that way. We talked about Jaden Daniels ranking first against defensive back blitzes, and we saw saw why. So maybe a little bit more of that
and
stuff.
Remember, Kelvin Shepard got a guy in Casey Rogers as his defensive line coach, who has defensive coordinator experience in his own right, who has been a defensive coordinator in this league before, who has handled top 10 defenses in this league before,
called top 10 defenses.
Yeah, he called a top 10 defense, who's had one of the top 5 offensive lines in the NFL for the past 6 years. So that is going to be a guy that Calvin Shepard is going to be able to lean on. That is going to be a guy that's been in the right pocket of Todd Bowles for a long time, pretty much his whole career. So that is an extremely important guy to have in this room. That is an extremely important guy that Calvin Shepard is going to rely a lot on in his first year as a defensive coordinator to make the right decisions and to learn from. He's going to help him out a lot.
I guess if any change, I think he has a bigger voice in the room when it comes to personnel. Because I know Brad will sit there, he'll actually have these conversations with the coaches as well to make sure they're getting the right people for them. Maybe he gets a little freak. A little freak you put at Sam. I'm talking about
little freak.
I mean, big body, 6'4" guy. So a little athletic freak out there. Play a little
Sam
coverage.
Reddick type player.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Barnes about to hit free agency. We don't know if he's coming back for sure or not.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really see changing.
Is somebody gonna match my freak?
The run defense would be just as good. I think the Casey Rogers point you brought up is huge. The moment we made that hire, we were talking. Yeah,
the writing was on the wall. Yeah, you're not bringing in a guy to be the.
You got an OG in the room for Dan Campbell, where Dan Campbell acts, which is the defensive side of the ball.
Yep. He's an extremely important hire for Kelvin Shepard's coaching staff going forward.
Which hire are you more confident in? Is it Shep?
Well, the other hire isn't official yet, but yeah.
It's official. It's happening.
I would say Kelvin Shepard is where I'm more confident.
Nick?
Yeah, I think I'm more confident in Shepard, the coach, moving forward, but this offense is so stacked. It's like, how can you really mess it up?
How could you fuck that up? Yeah.
Exactly. That's where I'm at with it. I think so. It's a tough question, honestly. Like, I have more faith in Shepard, like the coach, moving forward, but I have also like the same amount of faith as the offense being successful. It's a top 3 offense.
And like I said, the more I think about the John Morton hire, the more it is growing on me if that is where they decide to go. Because like we said, he got something out of nothing in his one job with the New York Jets. And yeah, he got fired because he didn't run the ball enough. Well, if you had Bilal Powell in that offensive line, you wouldn't be running the ball that much either. So having the Detroit Lions offensive line with 2 great running backs, he's going to be able to run the ball, and he's going to run the ball. So like we said, the pedigree that he has been around, when you look at Sean Payton, when you look at some of these guys he's coached with, Jim Harbaugh, obviously Dan Campbell, that is extremely important. And him having kind of nobodies his one time as an offensive coordinator with the New York Jets, when you talk about Robbie Anderson being his best wide receiver, Bilal Powell being his running back one, and Josh McCown as his quarterback, all of those guys putting up the best numbers they ever have in their career, that is promising. So, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I like it.
Yeah, and Kelvin Shepard's side, we're talking about the great names that, Coach Martin's been around. Steve Spagnuolo is one for Kelvin Shepard. He said he quotes him at Steve Spagnuolo, and Dan Campbell has his two. I just did the classic. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
When black people get older, they just say shit just however they want to. I'm hitting that point in my age.
Spagnuolo, whatever his name.
Steve Spagnuolo tree. He quoted him, Dan Campbell, and Lou Amon-Ra. I probably did that one wrong too. As his biggest
It's whatever.
And Bob Johnson says their best numbers were still below average. Yeah, because they were bad players.
Yeah, those guys never went on to have better seasons under any other coach because they weren't good players. That's a good thing. You brought the best out of the worst. I admire that, to be honest with you. And some of the fiery too. Obviously, you heard butting heads with coaches, butting heads with players. The Jets are a shit organization. They've been a shit organization since Braylon left.
And if John Morton is the guy, we already talked about it, I would not be surprised if Dan Campbell were the one calling the plays. And then you have John Morton as your pass game specialist and Hank Fraley as your run game specialist. He was promoted to offensive line coach and run game coordinator for a reason. Like, they're not just going to abandon the run now.
We definitely got to see, but I'm just confident, I guess. As Nick said, as I've been saying since the beginning of the hiring process, I do not think you can fuck this offense up.
No.
You have everything you need. Like, a caveman can come in, blindly spam Jahmyr Gibbs, and you're going to have some success. Like, there's no way to fuck this up.
You could have Helen Keller calling plays. Like, if you had Helen Keller calling plays
the pilot
with this offense, with the weapons you have, you're probably going to – and Jared Goff being extremely comfortable and nuanced in this offense and what they do, he's going to be able to call plays at the line of scrimmage like he has the past 2 years.
Oof.
They're going to be fine. The offense is going to be top 5 in the NFL next year.
Chris, you about to say something?
Yeah, I have ultimate faith in Kelvin Shepard. That's where I'd lean more, just because, again, what I talked about, them having the potentially separation between the run game and the pass game would give me more confidence in Kelvin Shepard. But let me ask you guys this to answer your question. What's like the quick baseline expectation for these teams in terms of their rank in the league? Because I feel like if you establish, okay, I expect this defense to be top 10, then if they go over that mark, then you can say, okay, Kelvin Shepard's doing well. Offense, top 3, top 5, whatever your numbers are. Like, what's kind of your baseline so that going forward into this season, you can kind of measure their success for both these new coordinators?
If you're not a top 5 offense, then it's a failure.
I'm going to chill.
With the weapons you have, with the offensive line you have, with 2,000-yard receivers, 2,000-yard running backs, an MVP candidate quarterback, if you're not a top 5 offense, it's a failure.
I'm going to go top 10 on the offensive side just because I do respect Ben that much.
Oh, it's interesting.
And I'll be honest with you, too. Like, I don't like when JG calls too much of the line. Like, if you go back to that Tampa game, JG was never allowed to call as many audibles as he had or hot routes as he had in that game, like, moving forward. Top 10 for the offense. Kelvin's first year as D coordinator, 15-10. Am I being a bit of a pussy?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Top 10.
Top 10 for
first
offense
year?
with all this talent?
No. Defense.
Expectations. You said top 10 offense.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, he said that's what
we are not taking that far of a step back. No way. I know you have the utmost respect for Ben Johnson. I think more than a lot of people at this network. But the talent that this team has, if you went back from 1 to 10, hell no. Dude, I'm going top 3 for this offense. I don't expect that far of a step back.
You don't even know this guy.
He's not going to be the one calling the plays, hopefully. I mean,
we don't know.
We don't know
We
yet.
just said Helen Keller could call the damn plays. This team,
Yeah, but that's a top three. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, she'd be like top 6 though.
She'd be top 5.
Denver had, I think, the
She'd
10th
top
ranked.
10.
I think Denver had the 10th ranked offense with
So you
that
expect the same
kind
out
of
of John
talent.
Morton
But that's
that you
Sean
do
Payton,
Helen
though.
Keller?
Sean Payton's like an offensive guy.
We
Yeah.
got
You
him.
expect the same out of John Morton that you do Helen Keller?
Yeah, I do. I don't think you can
We
fuck this
got
up
him.
Ladies and
too
gentlemen,
bad.
we got him.
I'm going top 12 for defense. I think when you get Hutch back, a lean back, this defensive line, it's going to make everything go a lot easier. I have expectations that we do not take a massive step back next year. The record might reflect a little differently because we have so many games against, the best of the best. But I think numbers-wise, we'll see.
Yeah, will you pull that schedule back up? How many of those guys? How many of those
Ridiculous.
teams have top defenses? I know top teams. How many have got top defense? That's a good question, though, Chris. But I'm going top 10 offense, top 15, 12 defense.
Let's go to break. Let me tell you about Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Sabbath Coffee, delicious, locally roasted specialty coffee dropped off right at your doorstep. Made here in Michigan. All you got to do is go to SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at WoodwardSports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
New Holland Brewing Company and the Taller Long Drink. It is delicious. It is a gin-based cocktail made with real grapefruit puree here in Michigan. So support local and enjoy New Holland and Taller Long Drink.
Buongiorno, welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights Live, WoodwardSports.com. Measles, West Morax, young Chris, Nicholas Koloff. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. Just kind of going over the Detroit Lions coordinator hires. We also got some Pistons and around the diamond on here as well. What you want to get into? Actually, did you pull up that schedule?
I got the schedule up. Do you want me to
You're
send it
good.
to Chris?
I apologize.
Yup, my bad. We should.
NPWMU, this hiring is underwhelming. Yeah.
Well, it's not official.
Not official.
I agree, but I don't necessarily think that makes it a bad thing. Again, I think we're just too equipped to fuck that up. Yeah, you want the young name, but let's be real about it too. Who were the young names? We don't know. It would have been a unfamiliar person regardless of the fact. Like we would have known who was coming in the door regardless if it weren't Tanner Ekstrand. And even Tanner Ekstrand, we don't really fucking know about. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of
a lot of people in the chat doubting Dan Campbell and his decision making.
It would have been that way either way. I don't want to play that game because we gotta see it. We gotta see it. We hired Anthony Lynn, and it was a bad decision.
Easy. So you said 10 would be like the minimum, or for the offense. Because
I can't go in.
The 10th ranked offense was the Broncos this year, and it was at 24 points per game. And the Lions put up 33.1 points per game this year. So do you think they'll almost have 10 less points next year going forward?
Shout out to Kalamazoo in the Woodward Sports chat. He's in the hospital. Tough road ahead.
Shout out
I just want to give a shout out to us for being
shout out
kind
Kalamazoo,
humans.
man.
Shout out
Good luck out
Kalamazoo.
there.
You're a kind human. You're the fucking man. And I appreciate the super chat and you listening to the show since forever, to be honest with you.
For sure.
So shout out Kalamazoo.
OG.
I'll reach out on X. Hope everything's good with you, man. Nick, one more time. I apologize.
Lions put up 33.1 points per game this year, led the NFL. The 10th ranked team was 24 points per game in the Denver Broncos. So you think, like, That's a 9-point difference. You think that's how big of a difference Ben Johnson made for this offense?
No. I would say, we come up with saying 7. That's 24 is definitely pretty low. What's the schedule like? Name these teams.
The road schedule?
Yeah, I mean any of it.
Okay,
the
on
Ravens
the road,
are tough
on
defense.
the road, you got Baltimore, Washington,
Eagles,
Philly.
Well, I guess Washington's
Cincinnati.
defense. Philly's got tough defense.
KC.
I think that schedule alone, it's top 7. Top 3 is kind of crazy. Just expect them to just hop in here, top 3 right away.
Top 5.
I'll move up to 7. What's the 7th ranked offense scoring? Scoring.
Let me pull it back up for you. I just think. Yeah, give me 1 second here.
You're good. Yeah, I'll move to 7.
I'm just saying if
he could
go into the Jets team and they were playing at that point, they were playing the Brady Buccaneers or the Brady Patriots twice a year. They were playing the Josh Allen Bills twice a year. And you have those guys produce the best season of their career. I'm excited to see what he could do when he gets his hands on all-pro talent. And he has his hands on all-pro talent. If you've got
back in the league.
If you've got Bilal Powell and Josh McCown and Robbie Chosen Anderson performing better than any other coach in the NFL has ever gotten production out of them, I'm extremely excited to see what he could do with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and Jameson Williams. So I think we've seen his track record is obviously passing. Wide receivers, tight ends, that's what he does. So good thing you got Hank Fraley in there to be your guy when it comes to running. He knows the scheme. He knows the offensive line. He knows how to set these things up. They are going to be working hand in hand, I'm sure, if he gets this job, to produce the best offense possible. And this is a guy that made bums look good. So let's see what he can make great players look like.
Yeah, top 7.
Yeah, top 7 was Cincy at 27.8, so almost 28 points per game. So that's where you're leaning.
Yeah, just first year going in blind. I'm just not gonna throw a top 5 expectations on him.
Well, I mean, I guess the only case study I could think of is the Eagles a couple years ago when they lost both their coordinators, seeing where their drop-offs were, you know. And I know that obviously it's apples and oranges because of talent acquisition and everything, but
no,
that would be a good way to kind of look at it. How far did their offense drop? How far did their defense drop or improve? I don't know the answer to that, but
and to be honest, I believe they hired within. They hired like the quarterback coach and bumped him up to offense coordinator. I don't know if they ended up doing on defense, but yeah, there was a drop off. I expect a little bit of a drop off naturally between that, the new just new coordinator, and just the schedule alone too. Yeah. There's a lot of tough defenses on there.
I think to hang with these teams, though, like on the road specifically against these great quarterbacks, we're going to have to outscore them. So that's why I think the offense will not take as big of a hit as the defense. And then you think about our home schedule, you got the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Browns, which I think you're putting up 40+ in those type of games. The way you did against, Carolina this year and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and Bilal Powell that year, everybody's saying, he runs this pass-happy offense, which is leaning towards him, obviously, being a passing guy. When you look at receivers and tight ends is what he's coached.
Vertical offense is like what he
was
loves.
With the Jets when they were ass and didn't have an offensive line and had Bilal Powell, who he got 178 carries to for 772 yards. So I'm not worried about him not giving Bilal Powell, not giving Jahmyr Gibbs carries in this offense. It's going to happen.
Nick, will you grab that video I sent?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
So this one's for you, Spinny, because you always talk about this guy just kind of losing his freaking mind. He just needs to let the team go. He's killing the franchise. It's actually not just you. It's everybody. You got caught talking about dicks this offseason.
Oh, Jerry Jones, yeah.
Here's Jerry Jones.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dementia
There's a
Jerry.
very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage. There's a very low.
Shout Dante 151 for sending that one, and
Shout out to Dante
Channel 4 News for getting that. What is there another? Are we just twisted in the mind? Do I only know of one glory hole? Is Glory Hole a dual meaning? Maybe back in the 50s and maybe it meant something cool, you know?
No, I think it's always meant.
It's always meant Glory Hole.
Yeah, it's always meant Glory
What are we
Hole.
doing, Jerry? Been asking that question for a while for that man.
Yeah.
His family's got to step in. How do you tell a billionaire no?
Or don't. Just let the Dallas Cowboys continue to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I'm cool
Just
with
let him be him.
I'm with you on that, actually. We'll allow that to be.
Jerry Jones, you're doing a great job, bud. Keep it up.
Yeah, about time we finally have him at home. Like, we've had to go to Jerry's
we
like
got
3
them at home?
times. Yeah.
About time.
That's great. Yeah,
That
we're
is
going to
true.
hang 50
Black jerseys for that
quads
one. It's
on
going
him.
to be a funeral.
Oh,
Bullying the boys.
Facts.
I hate the Cowboys.
I hate the Cowboys too.
yeah. Honestly, at this point, though, I hate the Eagles more. I think they're just because they're a threat, to stop the Lions. And sadly, we didn't get to play them this year.
I'll never forgive a lot of the nasty, disgusting fucking play calls I've seen the Cowboys get in my lifetime. Beyond even Detroit Lions games.
What about their hire?
Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know why you fire your head coach. I don't know why you fire Mike McCarthy just to keep the same offensive coordinator.
No clue.
That was, it's definitely a head scratcher. And the way their fans are reacting, even Michael Irving reacting, it's probably a poop hire. I think the Saints better hurry up and grab Mike McCarthy.
For head coach?
Yeah. Who else is out
I just
there?
don't think he's a good head coach.
I don't think he's a good head coach either.
I think Mike McCarthy's a good head coach. I just don't think he's a great one.
Did Saleh go back?
Definitely say good.
Saleh's
back with the 49ers.
With the
Yes.
49ers.
That's what I thought.
What do you think of Ben John? I thought Ben got one of those young offensive creative minds. I think he had like a 38-year-old or 28-year-old or something like that
For yeah.
as his OC.
Yeah, it was the tight ends coach for the Broncos.
Some young kid. And then obviously he has Dennis Allen as his defensive coordinator. Don't like that.
Ben hiring an all-white staff, huh?
Very
And
interesting.
a little young
He didn't take
staff?
Randall
Yeah,
Allison
we
make him
don't talk
assistant
about
head coach.
that. Yeah, it doesn't fit my narrative.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, all white staff, Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Not surprised here.
No.
We allegedly told you a lot of the stuff he did.
Yeah.
Looked
Not
pretty white
surprised
in
here.
the press conference, too.
Yeah, he did.
Dante 151 says that is why I'm thankful for Sheila Ford Hip. Agreed.
Amen.
Because glad we don't have Jerry.
And Jerry gives a fuck. He gives too much of a fuck. He is. My buddy works at a company, and the owner obviously is a millionaire.
My brother.
Not obviously,
is a
but
drinker.
like he's got a couple
father
business
was-
ventures. He's a little bit of a hothead, and every once in a while he just gets in within the operations and just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He's the owner though. You can't tell the owner no, but he's fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Like, he's making it worse for everybody, giving
yeah.
everybody headaches. That's what Jerry Jones is. He's a billionaire version of that with the Dallas Cowboys.
My father was a drinker. One day he came home. I don't remember.
I know how I got these scars.
I know how I got these scars.
When we get back, Detroit Pistons Magic rivalry, not renewed, just new. I think this is their number one rivalry going forward. No, well, Pacers. We'll talk about it when we get back.
Rockets got to be up there.
Rockets, I'm done with.
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where we meet everyone can get a comfortable workout in a friendly, knowledgeable atmosphere. Planet Fitness, home of over 2,500 locations in Michigan. All you got to do is get the black card and get use of all of those locations. Planet Fitness, join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Jars Cannabis, guys, make sure you check one out. They got 27 plus locations across Metro Detroit. Find one in your backyard by visiting shopjars.com, including locations coming to Madison Heights, Milan, and Grand Rapids. Almost forgot that one because I visit too much. I love Jars. Make sure you love it too. Shopjars.com. What up, though? Welcome back. Woodward Heavyweights, live at sports.com. I'm Joe by Small Rex, old Chris, Nicholas Koloff, a.k.a. Crash Out Koloff, a.k.a. Microwave Mario, a.k.a. all the above.
Michigan Parlay.
Michigan Parlay? You're doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
What, they're the least trustworthy team to bet on right now.
Pistons. 10.5 point dogs
I thought you said
tonight? That's
Michigan.
the big one. No, it's the Pistons. If they can do it,
He said
anybody
Michigan
can do it.
Parlay.
Yeah, you did say Michigan Parlay.
Well, it's just Michigan.
Take Michigan
Pistons,
out of your parlay.
Red Wings.
That's all I'm saying.
They're like
Who are the
minus
Pistons
400.
playing tonight?
The Cavs.
Yeah. But the Cavs have been spiraling recently, so
Yeah.
The Cavs are good.
a little bit. Yeah.
They still got 36 wins?
Yeah.
The best record in the NBA.
Why have they been spiraling? So someone hurt or like what?
Well, Mobley missed some games. Mitchell, they kind of gave a little bit of maintenance to. I think it's just that team that started off really
can
hot
rebuild you.
and kind of cooled off. That's really all it is. I don't really think it's anything too deep. So
There's
either
like,
the
we have the
Pistons
number
are
one
going to
seed
cash in at
regardless
the
type
right
shit.
time,
I mean,
or this is going to be a get-right game for Cleveland, and it could get ugly. So it's going to be one of those two things.
I think the Pistons have done a really good job of not letting it get ugly this year, though.
That's true.
Compared to,
And I want
the
JB
last
to get
4
one,
years.
man. I want him to get one on this because
I
Kenny
know.
Atkinson right now is the minus 470 favorite
Coach of
to
the
get
year.
Coach of the Year. Minus 470. That
Deservedly
means
so.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly
I'm not
so.
saying he doesn't deserve Coach of the Year candidate, but if I'm JB Bickerstaff, they made no major acquisitions.
Yeah, they've lost
That's
4 of
fuel
their
for the
last
fire.
6.
Yeah. See?
To who?
Spiraling.
The Thunder, the
good team.
Rockets twice,
Yeah,
and the
Rockets
Sixers.
smacked them. Sixers.
Good teams.
Well, Sixers aren't good.
Sixers aren't good.
No.
No, not at all. Embiid hasn't. Embiid
Paul
didn't
George
play
had
that game
30
either.
on him. So,
Yeah.
is Tobias playing or is he sitting out with a headache?
I mean,
I saw that post-traumatic
he
headache.
got he got rocked.
I didn't think it was that crazy.
I mean, he got rocked. He's probably playing.
I mean, dude, can we just petition to never play the Orlando Magic again?
I think it's different. Like, we watch those
They're
and we're
dirty,
like, oh,
They
that wasn't
are.
that bad. But, like, it's like, okay, what's a 6'8" human being?
Yeah,
It's
true.
Probably hurts more than, like, Nick doing that. No offense.
Yeah.
How
Starting to
about
hate
that
the
game, though?
Magic.
Shit was getting chippy, huh?
yeah, they're dirty.
Can we
man.
sign Stu on Paulo at this point? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, he's talking shit. Paulo was talking a lot of shit. There was a lot of
John Isaac was
technical
talking shit
fouls
after the
getting
game?
thrown out. Yeah, John.
He's like, we are who they
he
think
was
they are.
he was trying to talk shit. It was like word soup.
It was nice.
He was like, they
almost
are.
gave a
They think
compliment.
they're something that they are, but we are what they think we are. They are. I was like,
He's
what
like,
the
I think he's like, we know who the Pistons are. Like, we know what kind of
one
game
and
it's going to
done
be,
right there.
but we're who they think they are.
Yeah.
Which I thought, it made sense to me.
I mean, he could have just said something else.
They used to say they're tough.
I think,
that way better.
yeah, he was trying to. I don't know. Jonathan Isaac's good, but he's also made of glass.
Yeah. For me, right now, Pacers, Magic, then the Rockets and everything else. I need that Magic rematch.
Oh, you're talking rivals. Okay.
Rivalry-wise, yeah. Like, for this young budding team. I mean, these are all both young budding teams that are.
Yeah.
That's just kind of cool.
For sure.
But fuck the Magic. I've always hated the Magic. When they got Paulo, I hated them even more.
I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you. I'm not.
They had so many good players for so many years and just couldn't do shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me go.
I'm
They
not
took
looking
away,
at-
they took away our opportunity to see Bron and Kobe in the finals
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
because Dwight Howard, and now
I used to be a big Dwight Howard
Sure you were.
stand before allegations. As a basketball player, man can ball.
on the court.
On the court. Off the court, he makes some questionable decisions, some wild
Freaky
stories. He's
Shout
a
out,
freak for
Kitty.
sure.
probably
I'm not
Diddy's best
judging,
friend.
just like to shoot straight.
Probably Diddy's best friend. Jerry Jones might be in there as well.
Yeah, we never know.
We know them rich parties.
My balls was hot.
He's our go-to conspiracy guy.
Yeah. Nick, does Dwight Howard drink the blood of children?
Have you ever been swallowed up?
Yes, confirmed.
Now, what did you make of the Magic game, though?
I mean, you missed Jaden Ivey. A couple of these games we've had the same thing. You missed Jaden Ivey. You missed having a guy that could also turn it on. And Cade did everything he could, but that Magic team has a lot of pesky defenders on the perimeter. When you look at Suggs and you look at Anthony, and then you got Isaac in the interior, Paulo in the interior, like they've got a lot of good defensive players on that team. Franz Wagner took over in the fourth quarter. It sucked.
Yeah.
Sucked for sure.
K got fucking pushed down. No call.
That was
crazy.
There was a reason JB Bickerstaff got ejected for that.
Like
game.
we gotta return. That's why I'm facing them again. Like we gotta play that same. If they're not gonna call it, they're gonna let us like be that way.
Yeah.
We gotta return the favor.
The refs were terrible.
They might be on the whistle next time because of that, though.
Yeah, they probably will.
Which would be whack because it'd be our time to get revenge, quote unquote.
The
or at
refs
least
were
return some
terrible
favors.
in that game. They were calling stuff on the Magic that they weren't calling for the Pistons. Like Cade was getting hip checked into the stands and they didn't call anything. Byrne in the Woodward Sports Chat says Magic flop like crazy. It's wild. Every time a Piston breathed on them, they jumped on the floor like they were hit by Penny Sewell in the open field. And there, like I said, there was a reason JB Bickerstaff got tossed and he was telling all the refs to go fuck themselves. Like it was quite obvious. He was looking at the refs and saying, "Go fuck yourself," as he was walking off the court. Because the refs were fucking horrible in that game. And
I didn't get to watch the Red Wings game, so
we need more Stu and Ron minutes.
Well, that's
crash outs on him. You want to crash out? We got some crash outs.
Dude, Detroit crash outs.
And get Bobby Portis on this team too.
Durin's had some moments too.
Oh, dude, no.
Durin's had a few crash outs.
I'm just looking at this team, and that's what I actually thought there was a little bit, because there was a communication between JB and Isaiah, and I think it was when Isaiah got technical, and I was watching a game with my girl, and I was like, oh no, dude, the Pistons, like Isaiah's about to crash out. Like this is gonna be another one of those games. You can kind of see it in the game when Isaiah Stewart's about to get ejected.
You can feel it in the air.
I felt it in the air. And JB was kind of like, no, Isaiah, I got this one. So it's dope. I love this, but I'm looking at this Magic team as they are a real threat because they are a pesky defensive team, a perimeter team. This is the type of team you don't want the Pistons to face because it gets really tough when you say, okay, Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, dribble the basketball. Things just get really tough when that has to happen. When you kind of take the ball out of Cade's hand. That's why we said it, that Ivy thing is just such a massive blow because Cade's not looking for a lot. He's just looking for one more player that can generate offense for others or for themselves. And then that's the difference in this team being able to beat any team in the league and being a team that is just a pesky play-in playoff team.
Burn with Super Chat says also the refs going to call it like that and the Magic going to be soft floppers and then play like bad boys. F the refs. I didn't get to watch it. I'm pissed I didn't get to watch that game.
It was a good game.
It was a good game.
I love games like that.
Yeah.
Because that's the Detroit Pistons I grew up watching.
Franz had like 17 in the fourth quarter or something.
He had 20.
20 in the fourth
Detroit teams have to play that way. Like at least in my lifetime. It's like every team out in LA is like a run and gun, that the Showtime, Lakers. Everything Detroit's been like. Yeah. I guess the Red Wings were kind of flashy.
Yeah,
we still had the grind line though still.
Still had the grind line.
But the Detroit going to work Pistons, the bad boys, the bless you boys, the Tigers, always been like gritty, hard-nosed teams. Bring it out of them. We got the players to match it. I was mad I missed the damn game.
That game, though, I will say, that was the game I texted the group chat. Ron Holland, man, I'm all in. He had a step back three.
Nasty step back.
Yeah, nasty step back three. Like, he is going to put it together. And if he puts it together, that is a star.
Yeah.
Not just a good player. That is an absolute star.
He was projected to be number one overall at one point.
For the game, I'm all in on Ron Holland. I'm ready to be hurt.
He was the number one player in his class, 247.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he falls to us in the redraft?
No.
I agree.
I think he's been one of the best rookies out of that draft. And you see the potential there. Obviously, defensively, he's a dog. Getting to the bucket, he is extremely athletic. That step back in front of the Magic bench, step back three, off the dribble, knocks it down, starts chirping when he's walking down the...
Ron?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Looked at the bench, started chirping to him.
So mad I missed it.
It was a great play.
Let him cook.
So shout out to Ron Holland.
Shout out to Ron Holland.
Dude, he even had like one of those like high school steals where they got the ball in the back court and he like kind of snuck around.
Yeah, he Grand Theft
did the Jose
Alvarado
yeah.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
What'd he do?
Grand Theft Alvarado'd him, where he was like hiding, and then he runs up behind him and steals it. He was pissed. He's like, God
That's
damn it.
fucking hilarious.
How many more times they play? They've only played twice this season, right?
If they played twice this season, then they got one more. Yeah.
Only one more?
I thought it was
they
one
played
and
three.
two, possibly.
They played 3. It's not. You only play your division 4 times. Orlando's not in our division.
Huh. All right, let's go to break. Come back. Talk about the Around the Diamond or the Red Wings, whatever you guys want to take a chat. You let us know. But tell us about the Winter Blast.
Let me tell you about the Winter Blast. Let me tell you where I will be. The Winter Blast. Woodward Sports welcomes the Winter Blast by Soaring Eagle and Casino and Resort. Starting Friday, January 31st. That's this Friday. They will be live. Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz Show will be down there from 2 to 4 p.m. Don't miss the cool events, including free ice skating, spectacular ice sculptures, live music, heated tents, marshmallow roasting, food trucks galore, thrills of a 300-foot zip line, and best of all, the admission is completely free. So what are you doing? Go there, and if you need more information, go to winterblast.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Football's big game is right around the corner. Make sure you're ready to get the most out of your favorite sports with the best sports book made in Michigan for Michigan from Soaring Eagles Casino and Resort. Fund your online account with cash. No need to link a credit card or bank account and get 100% of your deposit matched up to $1,000 and 50 free spins. Visit playeagle.com and download the Eagle and Casino Sports app today.
Today.
Yesterday.
All of my troubles seem so far away.
The Pistons already played them 3 times.
Right? 1 and 2?
Yes. 1 and 2. So hopefully that happens again in the playoffs. We lost every game to them last year.
I'd want to play the Indiana Pacers.
I'd want to play the Knicks.
Nah.
Steve O'Baby asked me
6-3 matchup?
What team I see ending Michigan State's winning streak.
Steve O'Baby.
I mean, if I was picking, I would go with the Pacers as well. But I think
Hallie's a fraud.
I could see that 2-game stretch of Illinois and Purdue being a tough. It's not back-to-back, obviously. There's 3 days in between. But
Did they beat Illinois?
They did just beat Illinois.
That was a good game.
It was a good game. But, Illinois and Purdue, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those teams. But I don't know.
I made some money on that one.
They're the deepest team in the NCAA, man. Their bench is loaded. They're getting great play out of all of these guys. Cohen Carr has been fantastic for this team this year. Jace Richardson cementing himself as one of the best freshmen in the NCAA. Obviously, the guard play has been so great since they put Trey Holloman in that starting lineup, man. They've been excellent with the guard play. You got Fears, you got Holloman, you got obviously Jaden Akins. It's fun, man. They're a fun team to watch. Xavier Booker's getting better and better with every game. He's showing more confidence around the rim. So shout out to the Michigan State Spartans, man.
We watch tonight, Pistons or Red Wings?
Huh?
We watch tonight, Pistons or Red Wings?
Probably the Pistons.
Cleveland Cavaliers. Who's got the tougher matchup?
The Pistons. Actually, yeah, I'll probably watch the Red Wings because the Pistons might get
You think so?
Watch early.
Might get taken care of. I mean, the Cavs are good, dude. They're 36-9.
That's fair.
The Kings are good, but they're not that good.
Yeah.
I saw on the start here, Patty Kane placed on the IR.
Yeah, I noticed that he was
right
out
before
there.
the
I was like, oh, you got to watch 88, 53, 71, 23. Those are the ones you got. And they're like, where's 88? I'm like, he's coming.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
all
Patrick
wasted.
Kane is placed on the IR.
That sucks.
Not even close.
Does suck.
Upper body or something?
I don't know. Undisclosed, I think.
Good to see Casper been balling out.
Casper's been playing very well. Bergeron's been playing very well.
Fairly nice to see.
Johnny Burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they were going at Burgers last game.
They re-signed Dominic Shine to a 2-year deal. This is a guy who's been very important with Grand Rapids and what they've been doing since he got there.
That's sweet.
I don't know if they're calling him up or not. I think they are.
Snagging it.
As of right now, yeah, I believe he's now transitioned to AHL. Yeah. I think they're going to bring him up. I don't know if he'll get a lot of playing time. But he will report to the Red Wings. This is Dominic Shine. So good for him. You know, he's been with the Griffins for a while. He's been very good with the Griffins for a while. He's been really important to that team down there. So good to see him get his shot in the NHL.
Nick?
Yeah, I mean, big wins all around. I mean, well, the Red Wings need to keep stacking them at this point. The Kings are a really good team. You're going to have to win a lot of these games that you're not supposed to. Like, we're not favored tonight, but you got to find a way to go on a run here or else you're not going to make the playoffs. So, keep up the hot streak. Great win against the Lightning after getting blown out in Tampa. To shut out that Tampa Bay Lightning team is extremely impressive. And then with the Pistons, 10.5-point dog, good luck, but I think they're pissed off after what happened in Orlando, so I wouldn't want to be facing the Pistons right now if I was Cleveland.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling
I
about
wouldn't want to be facing Cleveland right now if I was the Pistons either. So, I'm excited for this Red Wings game, though. This is a team you should beat. This is a team that you're, I won't say on equal footing with because they are a little bit better than you, but it's not this insurmountable difference in skill. You've played a lot tougher teams here a lot more recently, so you're going to need your guys to step up that aren't Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin and Alex DeBrincat, now Patrick Kane gone. You're going to need guys like Comfer and Kopp and Casper. Casper's got to keep playing well. I think he's a stud in the makings. Like his size, his ability in the open ice, he's going to be very good for this team. But you're going to need secondary guys to step up more. Hopefully Rasmussen isn't too injured after that bum Kucherov being one of the dirtiest players in the NHL.
Is that officially was hurt on that?
Yeah, I mean, he got helped off the ice into the locker room, so you hated to see that, but Kucherov is just a bitch, dude. That's just such a such a Bush League move. No, the league's not going to do anything. They never do anything about it. That's crazy. That's actually wild. They're not going to do anything So hopefully the next time we play Tampa, Austin Watson gets called up.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple years ago when Rask got hurt, we started getting bodied around a little bit.
Yep.
So hopefully...
Moose is underrated.
I mean, he brings the fucking punch. He can do it. He's got the
yeah,
body.
He's a big guy. You got like, I know they're young, but you do have bigger guys on this roster now with Soderblom and with Casper, and you've got guys on the back end that aren't afraid to lay the body. Evanson obviously is a huge improvement from not having Rasmussen. Like, you've got bigger guys. It's not just Rasmussen, but he is important. He is a great penalty killer. He's a great two-way guy. He was starting to heat up a little bit there. You still need a lot more out of him. Still expect a lot more out of him, but hopefully they can go out there and get this win. That'll be nice couple of games here for the Red Wings in a row.
You know what pissed me off in the game? The third period, Johansson getting punched in the face like twice and just didn't do dick.
Yeah.
What was up with that?
You didn't want to go. You can't retaliate. And in that situation, when you're up by 1 goal against a team with an insane amount of weapons, you can't retaliate and get a penalty and put them on a power play in a 1-goal game. You can't.
I thought it was ridiculous. They didn't go to the box after. I thought it was completely after the play, not even a part of it, right? That part pissed me off. I thought we should have gotten the power play, but I don't know if that's soft or whatever.
Are the Swedes soft or what's up?
I mean, Swedes are never
like
known for being
maybe not like Russians
tough guys, but no, like I said, I'm glad he didn't retaliate, overreact, and get a penalty because that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to goad him into reacting, hitting somebody, cross-checking somebody, and getting a penalty, and he didn't do it. And I think he showed a lot of prowess for a young player to not overreact in that situation and cost your team. And he coming down the stretch. He had a couple very good defensive plays when they pulled the goalie to stop them from getting good looks to Kucherov. So shout out to Johansson.
Maybe I was just too drunk.
Yeah, Dominic Shine, NHL debut, Adam Kerr. Yeah, we said, yeah, Dominic Shine, a lot of, if you've never heard of him, he's been in Grand Rapids for a while. He's been a very important part of what they've done in Grand Rapids. So it's good to see him. He got re-upped on a 2-year deal, and he's going to make his NHL debut tonight for the Red Wings. He's with the team. We'll see how much run he actually gets, but it's very deserving of him. Congratulations to him for getting his first look at the big league. So hopefully he can go out there and hopefully they put him in a good situation. He can get a crack at the net or two. So shout out to him. Glad he's up there. Red Wings, Kings tonight. Pistons, Cavs tonight. Who does Michigan play?
Penn State. Currently, I think they were up 2 last time I checked.
Michigan, Penn State going on
Who steps
right now.
up with Patty Kane hurt?
Who steps up? Marco Kasper.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's been stepping up.
He's been stepping up. He's playing
done.
first line minutes.
I like
Big
that.
body. Expect to see more of him on the power play now with Patrick Kane out of there. Obviously, Tarasenko was who filled that role for Patrick Kane, but I'd like to see Kasper get some more of those minutes than Tarasenko. But we'll see. Going forward, I'm excited for this Red Wings team. That'll do it for us today. For EZ, for Nick, for Chris, I'm Spencer with the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.